My name is Mary Rudy, and this is the blog administrator training for the Insights on Business blogs on the WordPress platform. The audience for this training, as I said, are the administrators for these blogs located under the Insights on Business URL. Your role as a blog administrator ideally is to kind of manage the content on your blog and to oversee the content calendar, ensure that your bloggers are blogging actively, the content is fresh and relevant. I know that's not true. That's for all blogs, for all teams. Some teams manage their content a little bit differently. So in that case, the minimum role for the blog administrator is to serve as the communication focal point for your bloggers, to add and remove bloggers, to create categories. We'll talk about that further. And I would urge you to work with your bloggers to make sure that their profiles are up to date. You'll see why that's important when we look more closely at where they appear. Okay, so the first step is how do you learn your username and password? Let me back up a page. When you go to, I'm going to go to the Insights on Business overarching page. When you want to log into a blog, and I'm just going to pick retail, that blog will appear. You go up to the address bar, address line, and you append to the end of the URL, WP login, like WordPress login, .php, and hit enter. You'll see the WordPress login screen, and of course you don't know your username and password. So click on the link at below the box that says lost your password. You'll be prompted to enter your IBM email ID. And when you do so, click Get New Password. It is going to send you an email. In the email, it will have your username, and it will give you a link allowing you to reset your password. That email looks like this. Okay, here's your username. Mine is mrudy, and there's a link allowing you to reset your password to one of your choosing. All right? Okay, so now you know your username and your password. You're ready to log in. I'm back here on I'm going to go back to the top level page just to see how you would get there. So I want to log into retail. Again, I'm going to drill down on the retail blog, and I'm going to append to the end of the URL, WordPress login.php, and hit enter. I know my username now. It's mrudy, and my password. I'm going to enter that and hit login. And it takes you to a dashboard. This is where you'll perform all of your admin functions. Before we do that, I'm going to go back to the Insights on Business /retail blog. I want to show you a little bit about profiles. Profiles are really important on the WordPress platform. They appear in a number of places. I'm going to drill down on Prakash's post here. All right. Here's his post, and at the bottom of his post is his picture and his profile. So that's the first place where they appear. The second place is users can click on View All Posts by Prakash, and they see kind of an author archive page. It's got Prakash's profile up here and all of his past posts. Okay, that's the second place where the profile information appears. And the third is over here on the Contributors tab. So these are the contributors, the people who have actually posted on the retail blog. Prakash is right here. Okay? So if I drill down on Prakash, I'll see all of his posts and his profile, if there's any more. Okay, so we've logged in. So let's see just how do you update a profile. Over here on your admin screen, under Users, Your Profile, this is where your profile information appears. Confirm that your username, your first name and your last name are correct. Mind you, all profiles were brought over from the old platform, so users really just need to confirm that their information is here, and in some cases, bloggers need to update their actual biographical information, which is this box right here. Okay. In my case, I don't actually blog, so my profile will not appear. Just blogger profiles will appear on the Contributors tab. But this is where the biographical information goes. They can upload a new picture. Sometimes the ones we brought over from the old platform, they got enlarged to appear on the Contributor tab, and maybe the picture's a little grainy, so they may want to upload a new picture. And then this is where you would enter your social media channel information, like your Twitter account and your LinkedIn account and so forth. I would urge you to go back to your Contributors tab, and you'll see there's a lot of holes. There's bloggers that don't have profiles completed, Inger and John. And here I told you I'm not supposed to appear, and that's a bug. I need to figure out how to remove myself from this Contributors tab. But notice all the holes. Scott, John, Inger, they don't have profiles, so you should urge them to update their profiles because they're visible. Okay, so I think we covered how to update a profile, and then you would just click Update Profile down at the bottom, and it is reflected immediately. The next thing your bloggers will need to do, and maybe you too if you'll be blogging, is create a post. And I'm sharing this information with you because you'll be supporting your bloggers. So even if you yourself are not blogging, you'll need to know how to do this. So to create a post, you highlight or you hover over Posts and click Add New. And this is where the title would go. So let's call this The Journey Toward Customer Intimacy. All right, that's the title. I'm going to click down here in the body of the post, and this is where you would put the content begins with the first step. See our latest study. All right, so you can put your content here. I would want to hyperlink this perhaps, so I can highlight it, go up here to the link icon, and type in your URL. I'll just type in ibm.com. Okay, you can bold this. All the usual formatting icons. And you can insert an image. I'm going to click on Add Media. Now I can upload an image from my hard drive and put it in the library, or I can use pictures that are already there. And in the case of our blogs, if they had an image on the old platform, we brought it over. So I'm going to click on this one over here, and I'm going to insert it into my post. Okay. Now one thing, let me just show you, we're seeing this post in kind of the WYSIWYG editor. What you see is what you get. It's very visual. It's up here in the left, up here in the right corner, the Visual tab is selected. The Text tab is the HTML version of this post. So if you want to fiddle around with HTML, you would do so there. Okay, so you've created your post, and now you want to preview it. Up here in the top right is a preview button, and it shows you what your users will see. Okay, you can go back and edit it further if you like. I want to show you back here on the post itself. There is, and I just closed it. I want to show you how to get to it. The last icon on the top row it's called Show and Hide Kitchen Sink. Really valuable options are under this toolbar. So click on it, and this icon is called Paste as Plain Text, and this icon is Paste from Word. If your bloggers have created their blog post in Word, and they want to bring it over and have all the formatting honored, they could cut and paste it. They could cut it from Word. When they come over here, they would click on Paste from Word, and they would paste it right in here and do an insert. And then all of their content and all of the formatting is honored and preserved. Similarly, they may have composed it in another tool. the recommendation then would be, if they want to cut it out of the authoring tool, they could come here and do a paste as plain text. And they would paste their content in. The beauty of this is that it doesn't bring any stray HTML characters, any weird formatting. It just brings in the text, and then when they click Insert, they can then go back and insert any formatting or bulleting or what have you. Okay, two really helpful options. Okay, then there's another field down here. It's called the excerpt. The default on WordPress is, there's a little abstract below each blog post, the first 200 words or something, 200 characters. The default on WordPress is to have that abstract include the first 45 words of the post. If you don't like the first 45 words, you can actually type in here what abstract you want to appear below your post. And finally, this is definitely something that, as an admin, I want you to take note of. Blogs can be categorized. And I'm going to go back here to the blog itself. I'm going to go back to the retail blog. On the right side of the page, there are tags, okay? So users can filter on blog posts by tag. This is just a keyword that the blogger has associated with their post. It's a little dizzying, a little confusing, kind of random. It's alphabetical, but, not terribly meaningful. Categories is a much more meaningful way of having users navigate your posts. As an example, you may want to categorize your posts by imperative, or maybe there's other business topics in your industry that would be meaningful to your audience. I will say this, the industry sites, and this is only for the industry people, we're going to be redesigning the industry sites to align to the imperatives. So if you have blog posts also aligned to imperatives, I can suck in those blog posts or actually just reference them from your respective industry pages. For instance, retail is going to have a separate page for shopping experience, a separate page for merchandising and supply networks, and a separate page for operations. If they have blog posts categorized by those categories as well, then from the shopping experience webpage, I can drive users to the shopping experience related blog posts. It's just a really great way of tying in your blog content and leveraging your experts to kind of carry out your marketing messages. Okay, so how do you create these categories? Back here, regular blog authors cannot create categories. Only administrators can. And I'll show you near the end of the class how you can do that. But your users, let's say you did have a category for shopping experience, it would appear as a checkbox here, and your blogger could pick that as a category before publishing. Okay, and tags, similarly, tags are keywords. Okay, they're just they're not as official as categories. If this is about customer intimacy, then we could put customer intimacy. The user could put customer intimacy in here. It's really just a keyword. All right. When you're ready to publish, you would click Publish. Again, you can preview and make sure it looks good. Another thing is under Publish Immediately, that is the default, right, to go out to and flow out to your blog immediately. But if you don't want that, if you want to schedule your post, you can click on the Edit button, and you can choose what date and time you want your blog post to be published. Okay? All right. And it's going to schedule it. All right. So that is creating a new post. I'm going to say a word about comments. End users who are reading your blog, they will have the ability to comment on your posts or on your blogger's posts. I'm going to drill down on Prakash's post here. At the bottom, and actually I need to log out for you guys to really see this as a user would. Hang on, give me a second. Okay, apologies. So this is Prakash's post. This is how a user would see it. When they go to the bottom of the post, log out. Let's try this again. Okay, this is how a user will see it. They'll be able to just enter their name. They could give us garbage if they wanted. Okay, there's no filter here, and there's no way to check whether they're giving us good information or not. But they enter their name, their email ID, and then they can append their comment here. And they would do a post comment. Now, when they do that, the comment is not going to get posted to the blog. It's going to get sent to the blog author in an email. They can read the post and decide for themselves if they want it to appear on the actual blog. They would click on an approve link. They could click on a reply link, which would allow them to also post a reply in conjunction with the comment, or they can flag it as spam. And I will say that I have seen evidence of comments that are spam. It's casinos, it's, gambling sites, it's, any spammers out there who want to get their agenda across and their links out in the cyberspace. So, bloggers can, the authors that get the email saying there's a comment, they can flag something as spam if it's spam. But my point is the workflow for comments is automated. The bloggers will get an email if anybody commented on their post, and they can kind of manage how they want that comment to appear or not. Okay, so that's really it for the types of things that bloggers need to know, and therefore you. It's how to log in, how do I find my username and password, how do I log in, how do I create a post, and how do I manage my comments. As an admin, you're going to need to add users to your blog. So I'm going to go back here to the admin screen. I'm going to clobber this, move to trash. I'm going to get rid of that post. Okay, whoops, it dropped me all the way out. Let me go back here. Okay, I am on the retail. Let me go back to the retail dashboard. Sorry. Okay, I am on the retail dashboard as an admin. I want to add a user. So I go down here to Users, Add New. Now, users could be existing users, or they could be new. Existing would mean they're an authorized blogger on another one of our blogs. For instance, there's some crossover between consumer products and retail. Between healthcare and, let's say, I don't know, maybe like government or something. So it's always wise, certainly banking and insurance, let's say. It's always wise to enter the email ID of the person you want to add. So let's say I'm going to plug in the email ID of Krista Gannon. Krista Gannon at us.ibm. Oops, I must not have her email ID right. Okay, let me go to Chrissy Akers. Okay, so I'm going to enter Chrissy's email ID. Oh, come on. Okay, P. Loftus. There we go. Okay. Chrissy was already a user of retail. That's why she didn't come up. Okay. Tisha Loftus is another blogger. She's on government and education. She is not on retail, but when I enter her IBM email ID, it finds her. So I can give Tisha, now that it has found her, I can give Tisha authority over this blog. Okay, I can make her an author. Author is typically the access that you're going to want to give new users. That allows them to create and manage their own posts. Editors can create and manage their post and others. An administrator is somebody like you who can add users and categories and manage comments and so forth. Okay, so I would want to, let's say, add Tisha as an author. And I could hit Add Existing User. Now, if I needed to add somebody who did not already exist, like let's say, Joe User at us.ibm.com, I'm sorry, I would give him a username, and I'm going to give him JUser. Okay, a good convention for assigning usernames is, say, the first initial and the last name. So in my case, M. Rudy, in this case, JUser. And I'm going to say that his email ID is Joe User. Whoops. I have a brother, Joe Rudy. Joe User at us.ibm.com. And I want to give him a role of author, and I would hit Add New User. And if you click this button, Skip Confirmation Email, Joe User will not get a confirmation email. You will have to tell him, hey, Joe, I created your ID, and it's J User on the retail blog. Or you can go ahead and let him get, uncheck that box. And when you do an Add New User, he'll get a confirmation email notifying him that he's been added, and he can activate his account. Okay, so that's how you add new users. I want to talk just for a moment here about, we talked already, but yeah, user roles, okay? Super admin, there aren't many super admins. They have access to, every blog on the platform. An admin, you have the authority to, delete users, add users, create categories, manage comments, and even customize certain, widgets in the right column of your blog. An editor, they can publish and manage posts, for other users as well as themselves. Authors can only publish and manage their own posts. A contributor, this is an instance where you may want to have somebody who can write posts, draft posts, but you want to, or a designated person wants to review them first and publish them for them. So a contributor can only create content in draft mode, and then they have to, let the reviewer know that it's out there so that it can be reviewed and approved and published. And a subscriber is, I don't think we'll have a use for subscribers. I don't even know what they do. Okay, so that's user roles. Let me go back to, we've talked about adding and removing adding users. Removing is pretty straightforward too. I'm going to click here under users. If I want to get rid of Chrissy, I can just click remove right here. And if you remove a user, then their posts get removed as well. Okay. Creating categories and tags. Let me talk about that for a moment. And let me see where I do that. Posts. Here we go. Categories. So we talked about it a little bit, but it is really useful to have, meaningful topics and to group your posts into those, categories. Under posts, add posts, add new category, or what was it? Posts, categories. You would enter the name of the category here. So let's say it's shopping experience. All right, and you would just hit add new category. Okay? So now shopping experience appears over here. You would have to go into your blog posts, go to all posts, and you would have to, like this one is not categorized, so I can click on it, and I can edit it, and I can now choose shopping experience and hit update. Okay. So that post will now appear in the shopping experience category. And I do urge you to add categories to your blogs. It will allow users to drill down on the topics of greatest interest to them, and we as marketers can then promote those URLs because there will be a distinct URL associated with that category of blog posts. We can use that in our marketing. So it's just a great way of organizing your content. Okay, so that is it for the blog administrator type functions. Although I am gonna share one more with you. Happens to be over on the communications blog where I can best demonstrate this. So that would be comments. You see in the left nav here that comments, there are 2 comments out there. And when you drill down on them, you can see pretty readily that this is spam. You can see a bunch of URLs in this guy's comment. You can see his email ID is payday loans. The email ID on this one is online casinos. I mean, these guys are spam. So the best thing to do is just to flag it as spam, flag this as spam, and then if you really want to, you can go over here to spam and click on empty spam. But you may have to, kind of keep spam to a minimum by checking it periodically. Okay, so that's kind of the biggies on admin functions. Everything that I've just talked about is also documented in the WordPress user's guide that I wrote that is located on the same website where I'm going to upload this recording. Okay, and you can reach out to me, Mary Rudy, with questions or requests. Thank you.